Main, save, close. 7:56, huh? I think we're on Facebook, among other places.
I'm gonna check on the phone.
I have not even been checking the.
You're on Twitch.
I am, huh?
Oh
yeah, we're on Facebook. I wonder how long it'll be before.
Oh yeah.
I wonder how long before that stops.
Okay. Yes, we are on Facebook Live. And we are on Twitch.
Let's do some sharing quick. 7:58, gee whiz. Where the hell does the freaking time go? Let's see how far we get before we get blocked tonight. That seems to be a moving target. Probably shouldn't tempt fate. Something else.
We are live on YouTube. Let's look at Twitch here. Channel has no content. It's quiet.
What's that?
Twitch.
I'm supposed to be.
Jeff R. Kennedy.
Yeah. I hit it.
Wait. Yep. Okay. There we are. Okay. Sorry. I was in a different.
Yeah.
Okay. Live on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook.
It's hard to keep up when you're a media mogul. You know. With all the various.
A media mogul.
The millions of places that are.
That's priceless.
Program. That's oh my goodness. Oh my. Let's see how far we get before we get closed up.
Before we get blocked?
Yeah.
Before we get thrown into Facebook jail again? You know, by Mark Zuckerberg?
You know, that hasn't happened. But the night is young. 8 o'clock. I should probably start. Hey, why don't we start while I keep sharing? That'll be a good idea. You say we kick this thing off.
Kennedy. Do you want a man for president who's seasoned through and through, but not so doggone seasoned that he won't try something new? A man who's old enough to know
and young enough to do.
Well, it's up to you, it's up to you, it's strictly up to you. But it's Kennedy for me. Kennedy. Do you want a man with spirit who is not afraid to fight?
A man whose record shows that he will fight for what is right.
A loyal man who'll bring the job a fresh new point of view. Well, it's up to you, it's up to you, it's strictly up to you. Cause it's Kennedy for me. Kennedy.
Kennedy, Kennedy, Kennedy.
And do you deny to any man the right he's guaranteed to be elected president, no matter what his creed?
It's promised in the Bill of Rights to which we must be true.
So it's up to you, it's up to you. It's strictly up to you. And it's Kennedy, 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 Kennedy for me.
Kennedy, Kennedy, Kennedy.
Do you like a man who answers straight, a man who's always fair? We'll measure him against the others, and when you compare, you'll cast your vote for Kennedy and a change that's overdue. So it's up to you, it's up to you, it's strictly up to you. Kennedy, 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 Kennedy for me. Kennedy, 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 Kennedy,
Welcome to blah. Let me try that from the start again. Welcome from my humble second bedroom here in the Saucon Valley, part of the Lehigh Valley, in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, part of these United States. At least united for now. Let's see how long that lasts. North American continent, Western Hemisphere, on this planet Earth, the only one. We have third rock from the sun in the Terran solar system, part of the Milky Way galaxy. This is TKE Tonight, the Kennedy Effect, for the 1st of August, 2024. There is more summer behind us than in front of us, and I don't mean the technical scientific summer. I kind of mean like Memorial Day to Labor Day. There is more summer behind us than in front of us. It isn't that depressing. Yeah, I mean, just not fun, is it? When we were kids, which is something I say on this program a lot, I don't remember. I mean, look, summer went quick, right? You know, before we got out of school, then felt like about 5 minutes later, it was the 4th of July. And then before we knew it, we were school shopping. Clothes, supplies, all of it, right? Well, as an adult, you would think that time would move a little slower. Summer would last a little longer. Not so much. It's already August. My goodness gracious, it is already August. Today, Thursday, August the 1st, 2024. We welcome all of you across all of our social media platforms. Let's run through the business end of the program, 8:04 Eastern Time. This is TKE Tonight, the Kennedy Effect tonight for August 1st. We have shared the program to... I forgot to look. I forgot to count how many places before I got stopped. I forgot to... 106 tonight. Here's the fun thing. The complete shutdown has not happened for almost 2 weeks. But what's kind of interesting is that I'm allowed to share to a different number of places every single night. You would think that would be standard. Once I hit 100, some AI bot, rears its ugly head and shuts me down. It's a different number of places that I can share every night. Regardless, wherever you might be, in your corner of the Facebook universe, thank you for allowing us to be there. Please stay, watch, enjoy, listen in the background, whatever it is that you might be doing. Late dinner, depending on what, if you're here in the East or just getting ready for dinner on the West Coast, preparing for work tomorrow, finishing up work, maybe even depending on what time zone you're in. Whatever it is that you might be doing, thanks for watching and listening wherever you might be across the Facebook universe. Again, we've shared to 106 groups. Just pages and groups just tonight. Whatever your group or page might be, small, large, local, regional, national, global, whatever it might be, we thank you very, very much for allowing us to be part of your corner of the Facebook universe. Come on over to my Facebook page, Jeff Kennedy, where you can interact with us much more directly. I will continue throughout the program to try to keep an eye on comments, questions that might be coming in from any of the other places that we have shared tonight. If I miss you, please don't take it personally. I will do my best to keep up with the comments, but come on over to my Facebook page, Jeff Kennedy, where you can interact with us directly. But Facebook is not the only place that we are live right now, where you are staring at this set of gorgeous faces for radio. You can see us now on Twitch, Jeff R. Kennedy. You can see us on our YouTube channel. That other side of information. We are also on my LinkedIn, Jeff Kennedy, as well as... I feel like I'm forgetting something. I don't think I am. I think I did actually nail all of it, because the Twitter continues to be I don't know. It seems to be changing the rules on me each day as to whether I can or cannot use it. And of course, the audio of our program going out across the newest blowtorch of global internet radio. That is, of course, GCPR.live, GCPR.live, Ghost Claw Productions Radio, of which I am proud to be part of, as is George. You can listen to GCPR 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We are on the air live programming. Following us now, Superplex Party, from a break from politics, go to something fun and very pleasantly ridiculous, which would be the world of professional wrestling, although maybe that's more like politics than we think. And then, of course, Conversations with T. Nathan from 11 p.m. Tomorrow morning from 8, Sound of Coffee with Thomas McCormick, GCPR. We're always here. Please check us out. Go to the website, gcpr.live, gcpr.live. Check out the website. Check out our station. And we hope you enjoy. We hope you continue. We hope you start off as listeners and that you continue to be listeners throughout our existence. We're actually celebrating today. I should have mentioned this probably right from the top, and I have to imagine that Thomas mentioned it this morning, and all of our hosts, I hope, will continue to mention it. Today is literally our 1 month birthday, if you will. We launched GCPR 1 month ago, July 1st, and here we are a whopping 31 days later, and we are still here. And not everything works perfectly. George is just chomping at the bit. He is so incredibly excited to travel to my home and bust my computer open and put new guts in it so that I can do this program even more effectively. Because God knows George has nothing else to do with himself other than travel to my home and rip my computer apart to put new guts in it. He's just can't wait for such excitement. Can you believe it? I wouldn't believe it either. I don't believe it, actually. I think he's coming for pizza. But that said, I might splurge for pizza. Well, simply because I said I was splurging for pizza, I didn't say you could have it. I will splurge for it. I'll put it in front of you. Is it, you want one? You want a slice? Finish the computer.
Old Mill pizza? I mean,
what's that now?
I said if we get Old Mill pizza, that's good. Old Mill pizza.
Oh, I will go down the street to a fabulous family place, which is right down the street from us. Very
Mill pizza down the street for me. That's like crack in the box.
Well.
Crack in the box.
Very, very lovely family with a very New York style sort of pizza joint right down the street from us. That's actually walking distance even. So maybe we'll do that. But regardless of that. And I won't let George drink any alcoholic beverages so that the computer actually works correctly when he's done playing around with it. But that said, GCPR Live is a 1 month old. We hope you have checked us out. We hope you enjoy it. We hope you continue to enjoy it. Tell your friends, family, social media friends, coworkers, etc. And if you haven't checked us out yet, I will continue every single night to invite you to please check us out. I've dropped the link in the chat, as I do every single night. GCPR, Ghost Claw Productions Radio .live, .live, GCPR.live, GCPR.live. Check us out. And if you do a simple DuckDuckGo search or Google, or I don't even know if Bing still exists, please, if you type in GCPR, you will find us. If you type in my name, you will find us on all of our various social media platforms. We invite you to do exactly that. And of course, the little bit of shilling here for the program, wherever you find GCPR on social media, wherever you find me or George on social media, please, a like, a subscribe, a follow, what am I missing? A share. Please, all of it. It helps us immensely. It helps us immensely, and it helps us grow what it is that we're trying to do here at GCPR. Let's get to, it is 8:12. Let's get to what I think really is the big story of the day. Oh, you know what? George makes a very, very good point behind the scenes. I wanted to let you know something that I think is really kind of interesting, and I hope it doesn't bore the crap out of you, because it has nothing to do with politics or anything like that. I think it's so. I think it's kind of fun, the fact that we're sort of celebrating, minimally celebrating, but at a minimum acknowledging the fact that GCPR, of which I'm proud to be a partner, is now a month old. The audio of our program goes out in two different ways. The strict audio, no video whatsoever, but radio audio, goes out two different ways. Goes out through a website called Vozcast and an app called Shoutcast, and they are kind of related to each other. And Thomas was kind enough to supply us some numbers this morning, which I thought were super interesting. And I'm only sharing them with you because I can, and I don't know that any of you are going to find it interesting, but I found it interesting, especially only a month in. So it is a breakdown of the percentage of the audience based on the country from which they are listening. And I may have not said that the right way, but 100% of the audience broken down by nation. And I think some of these are kind of interesting. As you would expect, the overwhelming majority of our audience is from here in the United States. But not as much as you would think. It happens to be just a hair over 80%. So that leaves an entire 20% from all around the rest of the world. So where does it come from? I assure you, I have not learned any of these languages other than the country that comes in dead last on this list. I know their English quite well. But okay, so 80.2% of our audience is from here in the States, as you would imagine. 10.34% of our audience. I will open it up to the chat as I can't leave a ton of dead air. That's not good for radio. But if anybody would like to throw into the chat where they think the next 10 and a third % of our audience is coming from what nation, I'd love to tell you that you would win something. I have absolutely nothing to give you. But when the program, I will. If Donna guesses it, we will send an autographed headshot of George, like one of those actors headshots. Does anybody? Donna guesses Russia. No, but you're close. You're a little further west into Europe, but you're close. The next 10, so 80.2% from the States, 10.34% from, so 10 and a third % from, nobody else is going to take a guess. Oh, folks, come on, it's Thursday. We're supposed to have fun. It's the end of the broadcast week. We're supposed to be having some fun here. Donna did laugh very much at the thought of an autographed George modeling headshot with the crossed arms and the very professorial, chin on the fist, or the very, finger up here. The very Donna guesses Poland. You're getting closer. Romania. I couldn't tell you why, and I don't care why. I'm just happy that they're listening. I'm actually quite honored by it. Very humbled by it. If I was to go to Romania I can't imagine for the life. Well, listen, I could step outside my front door. Most people don't know who I am, and that's perfectly fine. And by the way, they shouldn't, right? They all have lives. They have family. They have kids. They have things that they have to do. Yeah. So the fact that over 10% of our listening audience is in and from Romania, I find it to be quite fascinating, and I think it's very cool. And I'm so pleased by it. I'm very humbled by it. So to our listeners in Romania, hello and welcome. And you are always welcome here. You are welcome throughout the GCPR universe, and you are welcome here on TKE tonight, and of course our Sunday program as well. And I hope that you will continue to talk about GCPR. I hope you'll continue to listen and tune in, and I hope you will tell the entire rest of the country and the rest of the continent of Europe all about us. The next one that comes in third place with 7.67%, 7 2/3, is even further west, would be Spain. Okay. I'm good with it. Madrid, Barcelona, Sevilla. These are gorgeous, beautiful, beautiful cities. I would like to see Barcelona probably before I leave this earth, but I'm not holding my breath. I don't suspect I'll ever be able to afford such a trip, but I wouldn't mind seeing Barcelona before it's too late. Let's put it that way. So yeah, 80.2% from the US, 10.34% from Romania, 7.67% from Spain, 1.15% from Finland, and bringing up the rear, at least in this list, at number 5, 0.63% from Great Britain. Hey, we did talk about the British elections quite a bit on this program. I just thought that was very cool. I thought it was super neat. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. I don't know. I just thought it was pretty neat. So, a shout out, a hello, a welcome, anything that might be appropriate to all of our foreign, well, I wouldn't say foreign listeners. I guess they're foreign listeners because we're based in the States, but we are all one global community. We are all one global human community. And I welcome you all. I don't care where you're from. We are all part of this sea of humanity that occupies this one lone planet that we are aware of. And we are a human family, and I'm very proud that you are listening. I don't care where you're coming from. I don't care if it's from any of the nations that I listed, or it's a secluded island somewhere, or wherever it might be. I'm just happy that you're here. If there's one listener in every country on earth, we're doing pretty good. If there's some other countries that you're listening from right now, please drop something in the chat. Let us know where you are. We'd be thrilled to hear about it. So thank you to everybody around the globe who has decided to take in and give us a try here at GCPR. Please continue to share us with your friends, your family, your coworkers, and around your individual nations and around the globe. GCPR.live. GCPR.live. Donna mentions she's surprised Canada isn't on the list. I am too, kind of, to be honest with you. Kind of me too. But, we're only a month in, so there's time yet. Donna didn't know she was making a funny George when she said Russia. Of course, George and I can tell you the story about how on our Sunday program, before GCPR ever launched, we were doing a very extended program, or extended talk, I should say. The program itself wasn't extended. We do 3 hours on Sundays. It used to be 4 hours. Now we do 3 hours on Sundays. And I think I took the entire first hour, maybe even hour and a half, talking about the Russia-Ukraine war. And I got a message through Facebook in the middle of the program that said your video has been banned in the following locations. Now, this has happened before when someone has claimed that I was playing copyrighted music, when in fact, if you've paid attention to the program at all, we never play music other than the opening 1960 Kennedy campaign music, which is actually not I believe is technically owned by the Kennedy Library, but it is also in the public domain, so it's not something that we're taking and using when we shouldn't be. But that said, we got, and I think you were with me that night, right? Didn't we do this live on the air? Didn't we? We investigated this, I think, live on the air, didn't we? I think we did. Yeah.
We were banned in Belarus and Russia.
As we were talking about how Ukraine, war has, was illegally attacked, the war crimes that were happening at the behest of Russia, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right. Why the United States and NATO should be backing Ukraine and all of these things. And suddenly we became banned in Belarus and Russia. And you know what? I've never been prouder. I've never been more proud. I was so happy that night to think that somebody in Belarus and Russia was listening to us enough for a KGB guy somewhere to flip the switch and knock us off. I couldn't have been happier. I could not have been happier. But it does make you think about something. Unlike terrestrial radio, and I still am a big fan of terrestrial radio. I should say I'm a fan of it in that I take it in over the internet, which is kind of strange, but I happen to love my sports radio still. I still listen to the Fan in New York, but the only way I can get it is through the internet. But I guess you'd still call it terrestrial radio. And I think there's still a place for terrestrial radio. And I hope to God that the programs that we have brought to you on GCPR will eventually move to a terrestrial radio station in addition to everything else somewhere. But unlike terrestrial radio, which has a limit in its capacity, even the most powerful station you can have in the country, in the United States, is 50,000 watts. In Mexico, I think you can go all the way to 100,000 watts, and I don't know what the rules are around the rest of the globe. You might, if you're old enough, Randall will remember from the 70s, Wolfman Jack, his music program at night used to blast out to almost all 50 states. He was broadcasting from inside the Mexican border, where they don't have limits on the power of your transmitter, so he could reach almost the entire country at night. But that said, there's a limit to terrestrial radio, and this is kind of the fun thing about radio on the internet. If you can connect to the internet anywhere below, above, or on Earth, you can listen to GCPR. You can watch George and I. You can watch Thomas in the morning on The Sound of Coffee. You can watch George and Gilbert on the help desk, and all of the other programs here on GCPR. All you need to be able to do is connect to the internet, and you can find us. And I think that's pretty freaking cool. And it's shown in the numbers. Finland, Great Britain, Spain, Romania, Russia, Belarus. I'm good. I think it's awesome. I think it's very, very cool. And I hope it continues to grow. Of course, again, over 80% here in the States. So I'm counting on you, Americans, my fellow Americans. Please, I ask you very humbly, respectfully, please continue to share the program out to everywhere that you think it's applicable, and even some places where it's not. Friends, family, coworkers, whatever you might think. Please share it. We are on Facebook. We're on Twitch. We're on YouTube. We are on... I think that's it. Why do I feel like there's something I'm missing? It's LinkedIn. Facebook, Twitch, LinkedIn. Thank you. Damn it. LinkedIn. You can find us anywhere, any of those places right now, live. And if you don't know how to find me, or you don't know how to find GCPR, again, just plug it into your favorite search engine. DuckDuckGo is the one that does not trace your history. Or most people use the Google machine. Just type in gcpr.live, or type in Jeff Kennedy, or type in George. You will find us everywhere that we can be found. And I beg you, ask you, and so on to keep doing that. Randall mentioned, by the way, that he has shared the program tonight to 12 other groups, which is extremely kind of you. You can always invite me to be part of these groups as well. Then again, I won't be able to share to them on a regular basis because I get blocked every night. So, anyway, let's get to what I think is the big story of the day. And that is the prisoner swap that took place between the U.S. and Russia today. Something that I have a feeling President Biden will not get nearly enough credit for. But surprise, surprise, I happen to think that it is something that does speak to this presidential election cycle. Now, what a shock. I say surprise, surprise, because I tend to look at everything through a political lens. And I think this is politics as well. One of the things that, one of the supposed reasons that Mr. Trump has given you to support him is that he's told you that he believes that he could solve the Russia-Ukraine conflict in a day. Well, it took God 7 days to create the heavens and the earth. I certainly don't think Trump can solve a war in a day. But the way he plans to quote unquote solve this war is to remove all U.S. support. And in all likelihood, because he has expressed this before, to pull the United States out of NATO, the alliance that has kept the peace on the European continent since World War II up until 2 years ago. And even then, I think the primary reason that Russia invaded Ukraine is because it was not a member of NATO. It's why they didn't invade the Balkans first, or the Latvia, Estonia, Lithuania, why they didn't invade them first, because they're NATO nations. So there is a political twist to this. And that would be that the Biden administration showed, or has shown, is showing, that Trump's claim that he has the best possible relationship with Vladimir Putin is, in fact, and I'd like to use a scientific word here, bullshit. The Biden administration pulled off one of the largest prisoner swaps in the history of what I think we have to admit is a reignited Cold War. They did it without any of the media finding out ahead of time. They did it peacefully. No shots were fired. No spies were murdered. They got our people out. Now, the Americans that were being held in Russia were being held illegally. They were being held without charge, without trial. And the trials that did take place, if you saw any of it, and you didn't need to see much, to know that these were show trials at best. And that's probably even kind to say. This is a big deal. As President Biden himself is very fond of saying, this is a BFD. This is a big freaking deal, except he doesn't use freaking. He said, welcome to the freaking Guardians of the Galaxy, except he didn't use freaking. Nothing? George, I didn't even wake him. He's asleep. That's all I can say. You missed that one?
No, I didn't miss that. I'm sorry. I'm doing a million other things here on my phone.
That was a major geek reference. Just
sorry.
In the midst of Cold War politics, a deep geek reference. Missed it. Kept going. This really is a big deal. It really is. The people that were freed by the Biden administration never should have been held in the first place. I get that. They were being held illegally. They were being held against international law. They were being held against UN treaty. I get all of that. But one of the real foreign policy claims that Mr. Trump continues to make is that he has a better relationship with Putin than anybody else in the country, that that his relationship will breed peace and prosperity. It would be one that would allow both countries to lower their defense posture and kind of cool the rhetoric and so on. Well, now the Biden administration has proven that that's all bull. It's all crap. And I think part of what spurs this type of release, which is, in a way, a backing down and a giving in by both countries, is the fact that the U.S. is arming the Ukrainians to the teeth and that we're not going away. As soon as you back down to somebody like Putin, he takes more. You give him an inch, he takes a mile, as the old saying goes. And in this case, that's actually quite true. It's why Zelensky, president of Ukraine, does not want to secede an entire, he doesn't want to give an inch. He doesn't want a peaceful solution if part of that solution is to give away territory, because all he's doing is setting Ukraine up for the next invasion. If I were the Ukrainians, I would settle this. I would give those eastern territories to Russia, build a Maginot Line, and call it a day. But I understand where Zelensky's coming from. If I give them this, they will take that much more. And if they don't take it today, it might be a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Here's the caveat. Ukraine will, in all likelihood, be a member of the EU and NATO by then. And will Putin invade a NATO country? If, by the way, Putin's even alive by then. The man, you can tell, he's double the size he used to be. He was a skinny little dude when he took power. He is now pumped out to here. And that face is full of something. A 72-year-old man without a wrinkle. But who knows? Maybe he does live for another 20 years. Is 92 really so far out of the question? I don't know. If anybody ever starts to even remotely sniff, I don't want to say power, but seems to be moving up a little too quickly or gain any kind of popularity, he has them killed anyway. So maybe he is there for 20 more years. I have no idea. But I understand where Zelensky comes from. We can't just give these territories away because it'll just be the first step. And then next time we'll give more. Next time we'll have to give more. Next time we'll give more until Ukraine doesn't exist anymore. I understand that. I do understand that point of view. However, if I was him, I'd give the territory away and hope that this war ends. All of that said, let me read to you from, surprise, surprise, the Associated Press. An article from today by Eric Tucker, Dasha Litanova, and I hope I said that correctly, ma'am, and Matthew Lee. Eric Tucker, Dasha Litanova, and Matthew Lee from the Associated Press. Dateline, August 1st, Washington, D.C. The United States and Russia completed their biggest prisoner swap in post-Soviet history on Thursday, today, with Moscow releasing journalist Evan Gershkovich and fellow American Paul Whelan, along with dissidents including Vladimir Kara-Murza, in a multinational deal that set 24 people free. The trade unfolded despite relations between Washington and Moscow being at their lowest point since the Cold War, after Russian President Vladimir Putin's February 2022 invasion of Ukraine. Negotiators in back-channel talks at one point explored an exchange involving Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny, but after his death in February, ultimately stitched together a 24-person deal that required significant concessions from European allies, including the release of a Russian assassin, and secured freedom for a cluster of journalists, suspected spies, political prisoners, and others. What a shame that Mr. Navalny did not live to see this release. Although, I would think that Mr. Putin never had any intention of releasing Navalny. There are always kind of beliefs that some people are much more powerful dead than alive, that the martyr syndrome, although it is real, is more of a, let me put it this way, Mr. Navalny, as powerful a figure as he was, as Earth, as great a global news story as it was when he was murdered, and I don't think there's any doubt that he was murdered in prison. He was routinely starved of food. He was denied medical attention. He was in a work camp. I think there's no question he was murdered. He was just murdered slowly. Sadly, Mr. Navalny has not become more powerful dead than alive. It's a shame he did not live to see this prisoner exchange or be a part of it, although in my personal opinion, Mr. Putin was never going to let him go because he is more powerful alive, even if he was outside of Russia. Mr. Navalny had an entire operation. He had, for all intent and purpose, a cabinet, sort of a shadow Russian government. And they had a very large social media presence. They were able to get news and articles and things into Russia. He was much more powerful alive than dead. And I don't think he ever would have been part of this, but that's speculation a bit on my part, but I don't think he ever would have been part of this.
There is a documentary on Navalny on HBO Max.
Fantastic, by the way.
Very, very good. He was actually poisoned by he was poisoned with Novichok, it's called. It's a Russian poison that is used in the military. And when he was in the hospital, Russian officials wanted to keep him there for observation. They actually wanted to keep him there until the poison was out of his system. But he found out that they had poisoned him on the plane. Actually, the assassins used the poison, and what they did was they actually because it's absorbed through the pores of the skin. They actually put it on his underwear, and when he put his underwear on, that's when he got he got the thing. But it was very interesting. It's a very very interesting documentary. They did pose as his team, his social media team. They did pose as investigators from the Russian government, and they actually found the people who poisoned him. Through phone conversations and everything. Very, very powerful documentary.
7:40, just almost. It'll click over to, what did I say? 8:40. There it is. It clicked over. 8:40 p.m. Eastern Time. You're listening to TKE Tonight, the Kennedy Effect Tonight for August 1st. It is August 1st already, 2024. 95 days away from the end of the election cycle. I think it's roughly 95 days to the end of the election cycle on November 5th. We are live on Facebook across about 100, I don't know if I include the 12 places that ran, about almost 120 different places, wherever you might be watching on the Facebook universe. Stay, enjoy. We appreciate you being here more than you can realize. However, if you would like to come over and be a direct part of the conversation, you have just about 18-ish minutes to do so. Come to my Facebook, Jeff Kennedy. We encourage your comments and questions. You can drive the discussion. We are live now on our YouTube channel, That Other Side of Information. We are live on Twitch at Jeff R. Kennedy. We are live on LinkedIn at Jeff Kennedy. We are live on gcpr.live, our website. Check it out. You can find out about all the different shows and hosts and so on. Carried live across the internet on Internet Global Radio by Voscast and Shoutcast. This is GCPR. Please check out GCPR. Following us in about, like I said, about 18-ish minutes, 17, 18 minutes, Superplex Party with Thomas. And who does that? Gilbert does that with him, and Gambit do it? I think the three of them, or just the two of them?
No, it's just
Right.
it's Gilbert.
Thomas and Gilbert.
Thomas, yeah.
They are coming up live at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, immediately following us on gcpr.live. Please check it out. You can find it. Plug it into any search engine, you'll find us. Plug me into any search engine, you'll find me. Plug George into super handsome global top 10 runway models. You'll find him in there. He's right there. Check him out as well. Another story that I wanted to get to, I think, if I could get to it quite quickly. Let me see. I hope you've been checking out the Olympics. I think they've been really well done. Paris has done a tremendous job. I think the very interesting thing is that so many of the venues that are being used are temporary. There's always a bit of... The press doesn't usually stick around in an Olympic city after it's over. And when a new Olympics is on the horizon, some media will go back to some of the past Olympic cities to see what has happened to the city after hosting an Olympics. And depending on where it is, the cities are left behind with debt and venues that are literally crumbling. Now, in recent years, with the exception of Rio in Brazil, cities have become a little smarter. They have found uses for the venues after the Olympic Stadium in London was turned into a football pitch, and West Ham United took it over. It is now their home stadium. Paris seems to be using a lot of temporary stadiums, and they are in some of the most beautiful locations. The beach volleyball stadium is in the shadow of the Eiffel Tower. The horse jumping arena is at the Palace of Versailles. They are stunning. And when it's over, they can take it all down and it goes away. The swimming venue, of course, is for real. The basketball arena, I think, already existed. The soccer is taking place in stadia that already exist. I think it's been a very smartly run Olympics. And I don't suspect that Paris will make money on it. I don't know the last time an Olympic city made money. But it's usually good for the city. And from a tourist standpoint, not just during the games, but after. And remember, the 2028 Summer Olympics will be in Los Angeles. So I think you should check it out. I think it's been really quite interesting and quite fun. I have not been able to watch nearly as much of it as I wish I could have. I happen to really enjoy the Olympics. I think it's fantastic. I love to see the sports that aren't normally covered. Even the high profile sports like the track and field events, the swimming, the gymnastics. These are not things that you can turn on any night and see. So I think it's and for those events, the Olympics is the pinnacle. It is the thing. You can win national championships and world championships, but it's Olympic gold that these athletes seek. And I think it's been fabulous so far. I hope you check it out and continue to support. This is also from the Associated Press, written by Steve Peoples and Matt Brown. Dateline Today, New York City. The headline: Trump is making his 2024 campaign about Harris's race, whether Republicans want him to or not. Donald Trump has found tremendous success from the very first moment he stepped onto the presidential stage by stoking racial animus. Democrats expressed new outrage this week at the former president's derisive and false charge that Vice President Kamala Harris, who is of Jamaican and Indian, Southeast Asian Indian heritage, only recently, quote, turned black, unquote, for political gain. Some Republicans, even from within Trump's own campaign, seemed to distance themselves from that comment. Geez, you think? You think? There's a very interesting rebuttal on Twitter that Tom Hartman highlighted today, and I wish I could remember who wrote it. But it was a young lady who just posted that I thought she posted kind of a parody of what Trump said yesterday, saying that I guess Trump is both white and orange. I don't know when he turned orange. And I respect both, the white and the orange. But when did he turn orange? And did he turn orange for political gain? I never knew he was orange. It seems only lately. I think it's actually quite brilliant. It's also ridiculous if you really think about it. And yet at the same time, it's pretty damn brilliant, because that's how ridiculous what he said was. Now, here's an interesting thing that I think, we talked to Mike last night on the phone about the National Association of Black Journalists forum that Trump did yesterday. He actually cut that short. He walked off the stage after about 24 minutes. I believe he was supposed to be there for an hour. I may have that wrong, but I believe he was due to be there for an hour. He finally got up after 24 minutes and left, because he was getting his ass handed to him by the journalists. Much has been made about the stupid things that Trump said, the openly aggressive and racist things that he was saying. I watched some of those clips with a different kind of eye. I think it seems to me that at the beginning, at the onset of the forum, Trump was trying to stay under control, try to be a little more professional, a little more, dare I say, presidential. And as he began to dig his own grave, and the journalists actually acted like journalists, what a shocker, he turned more aggressive, more sarcastic, and I think at some point in his own brain said, you know what? This is already a shit show. I might as well go all the way over the edge. Now, I happen to think he is racist. I think he has freed that 40% of the country that is just blindly behind him no matter what he does. He has unleashed their racism and given it voice and given it a home. He has legitimized it. Not to say that how they feel is legitimate. It's racist. And we are all part of the same human family, no matter what we look like. But he has given license to what they have always felt, and now they can say it out loud. I happen to think, and I could be wrong, I have not watched it in its entirety. But I think as you watch the clips again, you see somebody who's trying to maintain, who's trying to be professional and presidential, and as he keeps saying stupid shit, and the journalists start to come back against him, I think he then decides to just throw caution to the wind and say, you know what, screw it. I've already lost this. I've lost the crowd. I might as well say what I really think. I might as well have at it. Because at that point, then, he's not speaking to the people in the room. He's not speaking to the journalists. And he's not speaking really to most of the people that are watching on C-SPAN. I have a feeling that, in MAGA world, C-SPAN isn't exactly on the top of their channel listings. But he stopped talking to them and started talking to his base. And Randall makes an excellent point. Trump started the birtherism movement against President Obama. And he's now trying a variation of that against Vice President Harris. Who is she really? Where is she really from? There's always been xenophobia in the United States, which is so incredibly hypocritical and just flat out ridiculous because we all came from somewhere else. Unless you are indigenous to this continent, or your ancestors were, we all came from somewhere else. I don't exactly look like the Iroquois. My family came from somewhere else. So did George's. And probably so did all of yours. Again, unless you are indigenous to this continent. And yet somehow America has a very substantial xenophobic portion of its own population to keep other people out. No, those folks should have kept us out. They should have kept us out. One of the great genocides in human history is when Europeans began to settle the North American continent and the Caribbean, and then Central America and South America. The number of dead indigenous people is probably in the hundreds of millions. Some through war, even more through disease that they had no immunity against that came from Europe. So, just my opinion. Yes, Trump said a lot of stupid stuff. He said a lot of racist stuff. But then again, he does that all the time. He floated conspiracy theories. He didn't answer the questions asked of him. He answered the questions he wanted to answer, which, by the way, is not unusual for a political candidate. But in my humble opinion, the beginning, I think he wanted to do a straight forum and straight interview. When it started going off the rails, he decided, you know what? To hell with it. I could drive the car past the building and maybe just scrape the side, or I can just go head on and deploy the airbags. So that's what he did. Because at that point, he decided, I'm speaking to my base now. I've lost all the people in the room. I might as well just talk to my base and look like the tough guy that I think I am. Just my opinion. Just my opinion. What do you think? We'd like to know what you think. We got about 4 minutes left in the program. A reminder, our plan is to be with you on Sunday from 6 p.m. No guests lined up yet. I'm going to work on it still, but no guests lined up yet. But our plan is to be back with you on Sunday from 6 p.m. Eastern Time. We will be live on all of our video social media, as well as gcpr.live and hot101.net, because I figured out how to do both. So if it didn't snow in your area, it will at some point, because I actually figured out a technical thing. Imagine that. Tell me there's no God, because that was a miracle. I figured out something technical. So our plan is to be back with you on from 6 p.m. Eastern Time on Sunday. That's the you better be quick, because I got to sign off. So go for it. You got 2 minutes.
All right, I'm trying to turn down my... it always buffers.
I know, and I'm hoping within 3 weeks we'll have it all fixed.
I'm 2 minutes behind your program.
Yep.
Anyway, getting back to today's headlines. Yes, President Biden, it took it took many, and he said in his speech today in the press room, I think it was. He said it took our NATO allies to achieve this. In other words, Germany and I can't remember all the other countries had to give up criminals.
Yep.
Real criminals, not trumped up criminals like Russia keeps charging Americans for 16, 20-year sentences in a work camp in Siberia.
Yep.
So, yes, that was absolutely the biggest. And the Olympics, oh, my gosh. Gold and silvers and bronze. It's been an incredible Olympics so far. So I'll let you go.
But I think, don't you think it's been a beautiful spectacle as well?
It's
like visually, it's just stunning. Like
visually has created a credible looking Olympics.
Yeah.
And the venues, as you said, my gosh, they're playing beach volleyball just down the street, and the Eiffel Tower's in the background.
Exactly, at the foot of the Eiffel Tower. It's incredible. I know. That's how I feel about it.
And they're doing the surfing
in Tahiti,
a former
French colony. Yep, Tahiti, 10,000 miles away. The furthest. I think that's. I believe that's an Olympic record. I don't think I'm going out on a limb by saying that is the furthest away from the home city that a venue is. They are doing the surfing competition is taking. Randall's 100% correct. Is taking place in the former French colony, now independent nation of Tahiti. And if you haven't seen the picture of the gentleman who is literally floating in midair after he rides a wave, the wave dissipates, he kind of takes off, and he's literally floating in midair, giving a thumbs up, and his board is behind him, and he's about a good 20 feet above the water. It's really an extraordinary type photo. But we got to run, Randall. They're coming on after us. I got to sign out.
You know we're going to have surfing, and well, not next, but the Los Angeles Olympics. We're going to have it in Hawaii. Okay, I'll let you go.
All right, thank you, my friend. All right, 8:58. That's the end of our broadcast week. We return to you 2 days off, a whopping 2 days off for George and I. Nothing tomorrow, nothing on Saturday. We return to you. The plan is to return to you on Sunday from 6 p.m. So to everybody out there who has listened, participated, all of that good stuff tonight, for everybody who's been with us all week, thank you for everyone who has taken their time to check out GCPR.live in our first month. We thank you for that too. And again, if you don't know how to find us, please do. GCPR.live. Check us out. 1 month in the books. Many more to come. For everybody at GCPR, for George, Lynn, Kristen, and Daisy the dog, I'm Jeff Kennedy. We're done for the week. We'll see you Sunday evening. Superplex Party comes up immediately following us. Take care. We'll see you on Sunday.